Sunrise over the lake. While many Chicagoans are having that first cup of coffee in the morning, a team of divers is preparing for the day.
Get up, I gotta get it together. Throw the basket.
No, this is no pleasure outing. This is a dawn to dusk working boat. But these people are not professional fishermen. They're volunteers on a research mission. They will be exhausted by the end of this day, but perhaps one step further to solving a mystery.
Our main purpose is try to get in this area somewhere around here, and we're going to try to find a core and get those 3-inch pipes down you're seeing. We're trying a different technique than we used before. We don't know if we're going to be successful the first time. If we're not, we're going to pull it up and try it again.
These lines are now missing. The lines are not there. This line is now not missing, and so is this one. They are coiled up down at the bottom. What happened was over the winter, the fishermen snagged them, and the currents also wound up taking them around there, and so the lines are by the anchoring block itself. Be very, very careful there that you don't get caught up in anything there.
These volunteers, some of them from the Underwater Archaeological Society of Chicago, are heading out 15 miles into Lake Michigan. When they find the site they are looking for, they will be repeatedly diving to depths of 80 feet, doing hard work and enduring cold and noise. They are doing this for one man, who is on a mission of discovery. What is he after?
It was all by an accident. There were a couple of shipwreck divers that was interested in shipwrecks, and they seen all these little peaks sticking up on their side scan, and they dove down on it. Two of the divers said, "Oh, that's all garbage. We don't want nothing to do with it." One of them says, "Oh, that must be something different." So after that, they approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in it. I says, "Not unless you give me something to work with." So then I told them what I would like to have. They went back and collected one of the stumps and a videotape of 15 minutes. We had it carbon dated, and we found that that stump, what they collected, was 8,002 years old.
This man on a mission is Frank Pransky, a geologist with Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago. He and his colleague, Dr. Charles Shabiga, were very excited when Al Olson found these tree stumps in 1989 on the bottom of the lake. Why be excited by an 8,000-year-old tree stump? Well, here is an early 1990 report by Channel 2's Bill Curtis.
Scientists believe it began about 10,000 years ago, the end of the Ice Age. A changing environment heated up the Earth's surface and brought about the death of huge glaciers, which had dominated our planet for centuries. In the northern hemisphere, the massive meltdown resulted in the creation of large lakes filled with fresh water. At the time, a body of water called Lake Chippewa existed near where Chicago is today. But as the waters from the north began surging southward, Lake Chippewa was drowned, and Lake Michigan, some 300 feet higher than its predecessor, was born. For years, many have theorized that in the process, not only was a much larger body of water formed, but thousands upon thousands of acres of vegetation disappeared beneath the surface. Now there is new evidence that supports the theory.
If they have roots, then we're pretty sure that what we're dealing with is an ancient forest. My best guess is that's what we've got.
Come spring, a major expedition will be launched to return to the scene to find out. Right now, the scientists and divers will only say the location is about 15 miles off the coast of Lake Michigan. Not only do the researchers and scientists hope to learn more about the past of the lake, their findings also may aid in predicting future water levels. Presently, it's estimated Lake Michigan is rising about half a foot each century. Any change in that could change what we build in the future.
6 inches over 100 years doesn't seem much to somebody who's planning for 10 to 20 years down the road. But if we're looking to the future of the lake in the next 100 years or so, and when we design structures to protect the lake, 6 inches of water can make the difference between flooding an Edgewater condominium or not.
What excites archaeologists about the find is if the wood is so well preserved, it's very possible that significant artifacts from ancient Indian tribes will be found in their midst, thus revealing secrets of civilizations that inhabited our area long before Jean-Baptiste du Sable set up shop here.
No ancient Indian artifacts have yet been found, and the lake levels rose and fell several times during the receding ice age. All the water that melted initially flowed northward into Canada, but eventually the land shifted the water south. This happened not once, but several times. Aerial photos can show traces of the glaciers. There are many cuts and moraines through the landscape. What was once a series of river valleys became basins scraped away by the glaciers. Eventually, the basins became filled at the end of the Lake Chippewa phase of what is now known as the Holocene period. The tree stump discovery provides an opportunity to further investigate and fine-tune the theories about the formation, the rise and fall of the Great Lakes. Knowing that trees existed over 8,000 years ago in this area that is now submerged 80 feet under lake water can also give us an opportunity to uncover facts about the natural history of the area.
What the trees do is give you a lot of indication of temperature, the growth, and many different environmental conditions. One has a good burn in it. They're not sure if it was a forest fire or lightning. And right now we know there is ash, hickory, and oak. I mean, and that's a hardwood forest. And for something like that to reach maturity, which we indicated by the size of the trees, has reached maturity, and that's at least 500 years. So without a doubt, we have 500 years of land there. When the lake was rising, and then when it was covered again completely. The lake went down, when it was 300 feet down, we know that was land. And as it came up, they said it just continuously went up. We were saying no. From 9,000 to 7,000 years, there was a plateau, and then it came back up again to the basic level what it is right today.
In 1990, a number of other investigations were also conducted at the site. These included water currents, water conductivity, stump analysis, and seismic profiles. In addition to 50 tree stumps in an area of about 8,500 square meters, there are several bottom features which make the area interesting. Although the stumps seem to be on a nearly flat plain, gently sloping deeper toward the northeast, there are some features to it. There are some scarps or drop-offs that range in size between 1 and 4 meters. They form a terrace upon which is found the stumps and the fallen trunks. Along the terrace, opposite from these scarps and perpendicular to them, are a series of ridges, some of sand and gravel, some of till. Some of the till ridges and the scarps are believed to be ancient. The shifting of other, more modern sand and gravel ridges could have more recently uncovered these tree stumps from an age-old protective tomb of sand, gravel, and clay. While the tree stumps started the ball rolling and remain a benchmark on this site research, geologist Frank Pransky feels that soil samples from the lake bottom can provide even more clues as to what this region was like 8,000 years ago.
What's more important than the tree stumps, we can tell how fast the trees grew, if there was a warm or cold climate, a lot of information on the environment, temperature, and if you're interested in biology, it's loaded with biology because it's showing you all the different plant life that was in there. We do know that there was a bog, a swamp, and a wetland in that area by the previous cores that we have taken.
In addition, examination of the soil strata can show whether the trees were buried in mud prior to being drowned by the water. Which brings us to the reason why a group of volunteers are out here, and why we have been visiting this site on a regular basis for several years. We are taking core samples of the soil around the site.
Push hard, push hard.
While on a rocking boat, our team first obtains a 10 to 20 foot section of pipe.
Oh.
At the top of the pipe, we attach a device called a vibracorer. This is a hydraulically run vibrating device. It vibrates the pipe, and with proper weighting, it will slowly drive the pipe deep down into the soil.
Watch this line. You have the weight on there.
I'm letting it go by itself. Pull it towards me.
No, right over the surface.
Let it down another couple of feet. A little more.
If you think this all-day venture is easy and pleasurable, think again. The diving is very difficult and limited in deep, cold, and murky waters, and the work is tough.
Go a little faster then.
This is a tripod stand, sometimes used to hold the pipe upright. Divers haul the heavy equipment down to the bottom. Delicately place it into correct position, and then patiently wait for the coring to take place.
Okay, you guys want to take an easy bite right. You have to sneak out like it's a bite right, so you don't want it too tight. This.
The vibration from the vibrocore is loud, and underwater it is very intense. It is so strong that it is painful to even get close to it. It penetrates right through the skull. This wavy picture is caused by this vibration. The coring has ended when the pipe is completely submerged into the soil or when it has gone as far as it can go. Sometimes it's stopped by bedrock. Then a flotation bag is attached to it, filled with air, and the flotation bag yanks the pipe out and up to the surface.
Here it comes, here it comes! Hey! A little more, just a little more. Ready? Got it.
After the pipe is brought up, the vibrocore is dismantled. The core is measured inside the pipe.
All nice and clean now.
Excess pipe is cut off.
Loosen, you got it cut.
Hey, Raj.
Hey, Rock.
That's fine.
And the ends are sealed against the elements.
That's slippery.
Finally, the core is brought to shore for later analysis.
We got it. A little more, there you go.
In 1995, despite some difficulties in placement, a number of good core samples were obtained. In 1996, the effort wasn't as successful. Early in the season, the site couldn't even be found until it was too late to do any work.
As soon as I went down, I hit a tree, hit another one, and then I wrapped that float around the line around one of the trees, and then took off what I thought was east.
After that, on subsequent trips, there were equipment breakdowns. On one occasion, retaining bolts broke from metal fatigue caused by the vibration. On another occasion, the pipe itself broke. It wasn't until late in the season that we were even moderately successful.
There's always frustrations, but there's always achievement. Anytime you achieve anything, you have a great deal of satisfaction. To me, that's a part of research. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not happy with it, but that has happened. That's Murphy's Law.
Patience is the order of the day. It's required while traveling to and from the site, relocating the site.
You're 17 miles away from shore and you're looking for either a little piece of rope 3/4 inch in diameter or a little bottle in 17-mile area. That's a pretty close location.
Readying the bulky and uncooperative equipment, patiently nursing it underwater and waiting out the necessarily long intervals between dives.
They're down for 20 minutes and back up they come. That's all the time they have, so it's very limited time of bottom time for them to do any work. They have to have their goals planned before they start, or whatever they're going to do, and then do it and come back up.
So why do these divers do it? Why do they spend an entire day, perhaps an entire weekend, at hard labor?
Most of the divers I have spoken to, they enjoy diving, but they like to dive for a reason. And many of the dives have been going on, they just dive down and there's no reason for diving, there's nothing accomplished, or something they've seen 10 times, and this is something different for them. And several of them says they went down there 3 and 4 times, but they haven't seen what they want to yet. They want to come back and do it more often.
And the results? Well, join Frank and his neighbor as they cut open a core sample.
Standard length to cut these things are usually 1 meter. And that's good for evaluating.
Ready?
Ready. Let's take the end, each end a little bit.
Yep, kind of like a cheese saw, cheese cutter.
Okay, now just lead this down this way. Now if it's cut right, this should open 2 halves.
First time ever,
Here you can see the clay, sands. You can see the change in the environments right here. See it? I don't know. You can see it with I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but right here to here, these are continuous change from where you're getting clay to sand. Now this is a lake deposit, and this is more likely a shore deposit or from the glacier where it was clay just coming in. This was in medium depth water when this was being put down. Here you can see organics, so there had to be some plant life, and here's a real good wide area of organic material. This had to be land. This is really a good example of showing you how the water fluctuated very rapidly. 1 Pisidium.
Frank cuts open a second sample.
There we go, pretty as a picture.
Right here again, you can only in this area that I can see where there was a beach environment. And the rest of the time, most of this was deposited with clays. I think this is a snail.
Sure does look like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see the... Anyhow, the layer structures are showing a very rapid change in the lake levels. It was fluctuating back and forth rapidly. When I say rapidly, maybe 100 years, but in the lake studies, that's relatively a short period of time. And this is what we'll get out of this one for sure. It's mostly water deposit in the lake deposits where you're getting a lot of clays, not all lacustrine deposits like I would like to have. But we will get them in the next time out for sure. In a quick summarization, the main thing is that we do have a site that is a benchmark, and we know that it occurred 8,000 years ago. We know it was land, and there is much geological, biological information found in this area. And right now, several of the authors that do studies on the lake and only the lakes are using this information. So to me, that alone is the greatest achievement I could acquire. And whatever I do with it, it was well worth it.
And well worth the time of the volunteer divers of the coring project. There are many mysteries in the lake waiting to be unraveled. All it takes are people with a commitment who are willing to spend their time making the underwater world a little more understandable to us all.